So for today, we are going to start in our child's pose. You are welcome to be in any child's pose that works for you. So that might mean putting pillows or blankets behind the sit bones to sit onto to alleviate some pressure on the knees. We might want to put props in front of the body to help support that forward fold. Or we might be ready to go in a more active child's pose, getting a big stretch for our low back and hips and shoulders and everything right away. So I'm going to give us all a moment here to figure out which version is going to be best for our body today. Sometimes we're not sure until we start to actually get there, so don't make any assumptions necessarily. But this is a nice way to allow our body to immediately ground, to bring our mind into our practice, to let go of any outside distractions that might be out there floating around in our lives. Giving ourselves the gift of being present. So if you're using some props, make sure they're comfortable, make sure you do feel supported. If we're able to stretch those fingertips forward to the front corners of our mat, let's spread the fingertips wide and really extend through the pointer fingers to the two front corners of the mat. Simultaneously drawing the sit bones back and down towards those heels. Those knees can be nice and wide, allowing space for the belly to relax down towards the ground. We also would like to try to melt the heart towards the floor. This will give us a stretch through the chest, around the shoulder girdle, and we want the forehead supported. So whether the forehead is able to touch the floor or not, just make sure it's supported either with stacked hands, a yoga prop, or the ground. So we'll take a moment here as we normally do to just kind of feel the body. Notice any sensations moving around through the body. Areas that maybe are already awake and ready for our practice. And also honoring and recognizing the areas that need some extra TLC this morning. Remembering that we want to honor those areas by modifying and adjusting accordingly. Try to release the weight of the body to the ground as much as possible, letting go of any tension and tightness around the face, the mouth, the tongue, and jaw. Let that low back sink. And then start to feel and notice the breath in our body this morning. We'll just be here for a few more moments to really settle into a smooth, even rhythm of breath in and out through the nose. The breath will feel a little differently in this pose. So try to move that breath along the back of the body, stretching out that low back around the lumbar. This breath can continue to help the abdomen relax. And then let's all cycle through one more round of breathing. And without forcing or straining our breath in any way, on our next inhale, let's just slowly try to take in as much fresh air as we can, filling ourselves up with fresh air, prana, and energy. And this next exhale, when we get there, slow and smooth exhale, and really trying to empty the lungs completely. So putting a little bit more effort into it. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling that breath all the way out of the body. The next inhale will float the head up, extend the hands forward, spread the fingers wide, and float the body up. So if we have props around us, just take a moment to move them out of the way. We're going to bring the body right into tabletop position. So our hands should still be as broad as our shoulders, arms are nice and strong, stacking our shoulders over our wrists. Little space between the knees drop right underneath the hips. The feet, toes can be pointed or tucked under. Let's give the legs our big stretch here, getting the blood flowing back through those knees. So keep the hips and low back level. Stretch the right foot behind you all the way to the back of the mat. Shift the weight back to that heel As if we were trying to press the heel to the floor, open the eye of the knee. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, drop the right knee back down, hips low back, stay level. Give that left leg a nice big stretch. Press that heel back. Equal weight in the hands, arms are strong. Be mindful of where the head is in space. Open the eye of the knee as you breathe it in. Exhale, left knee comes down. Again, toes can be tucked or pointed. Let's do a few rounds of our cat-cows to start loosening up the hips and the spine. On the inhale, relax the belly down. Lift the tailbone up and then try to stretch the crown of the head forward and up, creating space between the vertebrae. On the exhale, pull the belly in. Tuck the tailbone under. Rounding the back up to the ceiling, tuck the chin to the chest, drishti to the belly button. Come back to your smooth, even breath in and out through the nose. And allow that breath to guide you through this extension and flexion for the spine. Add some lateral movement if you like. Drawing one shoulder at a time forward. Hang out in one of these a little bit longer if that's what our body needs. And then let's come back to a neutral position. We're going to do some rolling movements for our hips now. On the exhale, draw your sit bones back towards the heels. Just take a little tiny bow. Swing the hips over to the left. Inhale, roll yourself back forward. You might want to walk your hands slightly forward so that when you're inhaling, you're kind of moving through a kneeling plank almost. Sweep the hips to the right. Exhale, pull them back and around. So we're making a circle here. It might start out small, it might get a little bit bigger. Try to let that breath guide us still. You can get a little bit more dippy and divey in the upper back, the neck and shoulders. If it feels good, stay a little connected here to the core, so we should feel a little bit of engagement in and up through those lower abdominal muscles. Fingers are wide, distribute the weight out into the first knuckles of the fingers. We're gonna make one more circle this direction. Next time those hips come back towards the heels, pause, and then reverse. We'll swing the hips to the right, forward, inhaling, to the left, exhale, pulling back and around. Try to get as loosey-goosey as possible here. Getting everything loosened up this morning. You may have already moved your body this morning, or this is our first movement, so let the breath lead us in and around. And then let's take one more circle this direction. Next time those hips are pulling back towards the heels, tuck the toes under. Take that bow where we lower the head towards the ground. It doesn't need to touch. Now we're going to start our low flow, moving front to back. On the inhale, glide straight forward. Walk those hands forward as needed so that the shoulders come back over the wrists. The hips are hovering between the shoulders and the knees in a kneeling plank position. On this exhale, pull the sit bones back. This time, try to pop the palms up, so rise up on your fingertips as if you were holding onto two apples. That will give our wrists a break. When we bow the head down, it's a nice stretch through the shoulders. On the inhale, plant the palms, glide forward, shoulders over wrists, hips level between the knees and the shoulders. Exhale, pull the belly in, draw the sit bones back, pop the palms. We'll build on this now. So on the next inhale, we'll glide forward to our kneeling plank. We'll take a baby tricep push-up or chaturanga. So on the exhale, bend your elbows straight back. The insides of the upper arm should graze the rib cage. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, pull the belly in, sit the sit bones back, float the palms into your bow. Inhale, kneeling plank. Stay connected to the core, head stays in line with the spine. Exhale, micro bend those elbows. You may be able to go a little bit further. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, take a bow. Let's try one more of those. Inhale, kneeling plank, keep the belly pulled in. Exhale, you're just bending at the elbows, good. Inhale, push it up. Exhale, take a bow, pop the palms. Inhale, kneeling plank. This time we're gonna come all the way down to our belly. So if you need to adjust yourself on your mat, do so. On the exhale, those elbows bend straight back and we're gonna lower all the way down onto our belly. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders, all 5 fingers touching, chin reaches forward. Point the toes of the feet. Now we'll keep our feet wider than our hips if we take care of our low back, or we will glue the insides of the feet and legs to touch. Now engage the upper back, mid back, and the low back, and as you inhale, lift the heart. On the exhale, we're gonna flow today. Kiss the mat, so drop your face towards the ground. You can even try to tuck your chin to your chest and applying throat lock or Jalandhara Bandha, and the forehead will touch. And then inhale, squeeze the back to lift, Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Exhale, drop the face or the forehead to the floor, lower down. Inhale, lift it up. Use your glutes, squeeze your elbows in. Legs are super strong. 2 more. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Lift. Gaze can move forward. Keep the neck long. Don't just lower and lift the head. The next time we inhale and lift up, we're going to hold. So tighten up the backside, the glutes, super strong legs. Pull your shoulder blades together and down the back. Keep breathing. So we're holding the pose. We're not holding the breath. Big, powerful pose. Try to lift those hands up. Continue to squeeze those elbows in. One more big breath in. On the exhale, turn the head to one side, lower the head down, straighten the arms out beside the body, turn the palms up, and taking a prone Shavasana. So we're just taking a break. Let the heels flop open, let go of contracting the back muscles of the buttocks. Chin forward, hands underneath the shoulders, nice strong legs, wider together. Inhale, squeeze the back, lift the heart. Pull those shoulder blades together, elbows squeeze in. Keep breathing, lift the hands. Adding our locust arms, reach those arms towards the heels, but this time turn your palms down to face the floor. If it's available, interweave all 10 fingers this morning. Glutes are active, legs are strong. We're going to tighten up the right side even more and try to lift our right leg from the floor into a Ardha Shalabhasana or half locust pose. Exhale, lower it down. Keep the heart lifted. Squeeze the left side even more, the glute and the hamstring. Lift the left leg up. Exhale, lower it down. You may choose to do one more to each side, or those of us that want to hold for a couple breaths. In a variation of Purna Shalabhasana, full locust, you will lift both legs up straight from the hip, tightening and squeezing the low back, the glutes, the hamstrings, keeping the heart open. Big breath in. On the exhale, after you balance yourself out, single leg people, turn your head the opposite direction. Flop your arms down beside the body. Let the heels flop open. And observe and notice the breath in the body. So for heart rate increase, that's normal. Come back to that smooth breath. Try to take a big belly breath here. So when on the inhale, you inflate the abdomen, it presses into the floor. That will translate to the low back. And then chin forward, hands underneath the shoulders. Nice strong legs, but this time tuck the toes under. Pull the belly in, and we're going to inhale, push ourselves back up from the floor. Step the knees under the hips, back to tabletop, taking a couple small cat-cows to start to stretch out those back muscles. Inhale, we're back into our gentle back bend. Exhale, we're scooping, tucking, and rounding the back up. If you feel like you need to sit those sit bones back to the heels to give the back a bigger stretch, in a variation of child's pose, do so. And the next inhale, float the head up. Bring the body back to tabletop. Inch your hands slightly forward. Toes are tucked under. Pull the belly in. We're going to press ourselves up and back into our first, maybe our first downward facing dog. Our first of this class anyhow. Parallel the feet, equal weight in the hands. Draw the shoulders away from the ears so the neck is long and loose. On the inhale, float both heels up towards the ceiling, stretch out the toes. On the exhale, drop one heel down, bend the opposite knee, giving one leg a really big stretch. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, sink the opposite heel, bend the other knee, big stretch for that leg. Now continue to walk your dog, bending one knee at a time, stretching out the backs of the legs. And then we'll pause for a moment in this position, allowing both heels to sink towards the ground. Bend your knees a little bit more if that helps release the back. Pull the belly in, draw the belly to the thighs. One more breath. Next inhale, looks forward, baby step, feet to hands, hands to feet. Uttanasana, forward fold. So those of us that modify, we bend our knees and place our elbows, our hands on our thighs. You don't even need to be in a forward fold this morning if you want to come up and practice your mountain pose to improve your posture. Those of us staying upside down, you may continue to release the head, neck, and shoulders. Continue to pull the belly into the body to help support that back. The head should still be nice and loose here, so no tension in the head or neck. And then this morning, let's all bend our knees, place our hands on our thighs, turning the fingertips in, tuck the chin, and on our inhale, press the feet into the floor, use the core, we're gonna round up. So we're articulating through the spine, make sure you're inhaling. Allow the spine to uncurl all the way up to the crown of the head. When we become upright, roll your shoulders up, give them a purposeful squeeze, and then exhale, allow them to fall back away from the ears. Hover the arms softly out beside the body, but there is energy through the arms into the fingertips. Parallel the feet if they've moved around. Knees point forward towards the toes. Let's pick those toes up this morning, spread them nice and wide. Draw those low ribs in, anchor the tailbone down towards the ground. Let's turn our palms forward as well. Spread the fingers with the toes. Feel a little engagement between the shoulder blades, little exaggeration of heart opening, and make sure the head is just floating on top of our shoulders. Coming back to that breath, next inhale, turn your palms up, reach out and up, big stretch here. Exhale, bring the palms to touch, lower them down in front of the body. Interweave all 10 fingers. If your toes are still up, great. So we're gonna do our palm tree pose, a little bit of balance work, but with a different arm movement. And we've done this before. So you interweave all 10 fingers, flip your palms forward, inhale, reach those arms back up to the ceiling. You're pulling the head of the arm bones back. Make sure you don't lose your connection here to the core. So continue to anchor front body to back body. Lift the heels up. So push your palms up to the ceiling, lift the heels up on our tippy toes. On the exhale, lower the heels down, bend the elbows out. The palms are still facing the ceiling, but the knuckles come down to the crown of the head. So on our inhale, we're pushing up through the palms, the heels of the hands, lifting the heels up. And on the exhale, we try to slowly drop the heels and the hands back to the head. Good, let's try 2 more. Big inhale, nice side body stretch. Exhale. 1 more. Now the next time we come up, we're gonna try to hold at the top. Don't hold the breath, so keep breathing. Inhale, reach up, we're up on our tippy toes. Open the hands up. And just start to sway them a little bit side to side. So it's going to challenge our balance a little bit more. Make sure you're pulling it through the core, lifting up through the pelvic floor muscles. Maybe it's just more of an arm movement. If you feel like you can do a little lateral movement here in the upper body, you can. The whole time we're up on our tippy toes. Good. Now let's meet back up into the center, taking one more big breath in. See how tall we can get. Turn those palms out. Exhale, float the heels down, float the arms down, pause in Tadasana. So we should feel an inch taller now. So I want us to move towards the front of our mat. I had introduced a nice modified slow Surya Namaskar sun salutation. So we're gonna do a couple of variations of that from standing today. So we'll make our way back to the top of our mat, standing nice and tall. Ears float over the shoulders are floating over the hips. Legs are strong, unlock those knees. Root down to the four corners of each foot. Mound to the big toe, inner heel, mound to the pinky toe, and outer heel. We might need to take additional breaths throughout this movement, and that's fine. And just move at a rhythm that works best for you. Turn the palms out, big breath in, let's reach out and up. Drishti can move towards the thumbs for a little bit more extension. On the exhale, turn the palms down, bend the knees. We're swan diving, so the hinge is at the hips. Let your arms scoot back down and around. Now take your version of forward fold. So some of us might be stopping halfway. I'm definitely modifying, especially first thing in the morning. Takes my body a while to warm up, but we're in our forward fold, whatever it looks like. Inhale, hands to shins or higher. Take your halfway lift. So lift the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. Good. On this exhale, we're going to find our mat. Bend the knees, fingertips to the floor, and we're all going to take a big step back, 1 foot at a time, into plank position. Now, we may be in a kneeling plank like we were earlier, no problem. Maybe we'll want to take a full plank. On the exhale, we're going to lower all the way down to our belly. So you might want to drop the knees first. Chaturanga Dandasana. Bend your elbows straight back, lowering the body all the way to the ground. Chin forward, point the toes, feet wide or zipped up together. Inhale, use the strength of the upper back, mid back, low back to lift the heart. Cobra pose. You may choose any variation of Bhujangasana you like. I add an additional step, so I have us exhale all the way back down to the ground, kiss the mat, tuck the toes under, the tailbone under, elbows are in, pull the belly in, and inhale, push back up to kneeling or your full plank. On our exhale, we take a resting pose. So for some of us, that might be Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Maybe it's a tabletop. Maybe it's child's pose. But we hold here for several deep breaths. Now on our next inhale, some of us from downward facing dog will be able to float the right leg up behind us, look forward and step your right foot forward between the hands. However, you may want to modify like me. I'm going to drop down to my knees first, take my right hand behind my right thigh so I can safely place my right foot forward, ankle underneath the right knee. And then we'll try to hover the back knee from the floor. Using our front thigh, walk your hands onto it, pull the belly in, press off your front thigh to lift the body up. So we're in a high lunge. It's really important to anchor that tailbone down and pull the front body to back body. If you'd like to angle your back heel down and into more of a Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1 stance, you may. Heel up will be a little bit more of a challenge for our balance, but it might give us more of a stretch. It just depends. From here, we're going to add the arms, float the arms out and up. Gaze might move upwards, keep the back of the neck long, drawing the head of those arm bones back. Belly's in. We're going to take another breath here. Good. We'll all take one more inhale. If the back heel is down, lift it up. This exhale brings us all the way back down to the ground. You don't have to do it all in one breath. You can break it down. Those of you that have your fingertips all the way to the floor, you'll step back to plank. You can take a vinyasa. If you're breaking it down, drop the back knee down, bend the hands, then right foot steps back. You may go into a resting position. If you'd like to take the vinyasa from kneeling or full plank, exhale all the way down to the belly. Point the toes, squeeze the back of the body. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Cobra. Exhale, come back down to the ground, kiss the mat, tuck the toes and the tailbone. Inhale, try to push back up to kneeling or full plank. And then we all catch up in our resting pose. So this is our little meeting place. So it doesn't matter how quickly we're moving, slowly we're moving, we'll always be able to catch up here. Couple deep breaths. So same thing, other side. Some of us might be able to, from down dog, lift the left leg up behind us, inhaling, looking forward, stepping the left foot forward into our low lunge. Joining me in modifying, drop the knees, left hand behind the thigh, carefully placing that left foot forward, ankle underneath the knee. Then hovering that back knee from the floor, pulling the belly in, hands walk up to the front thigh. Pressing the thigh away from you, pull the belly in to rise up. High lunge, hips are still forward. Anchor the tailbone, push the right hip forward. You may ankle that back heel down. Inhale, palms out, reach up. We'll pause for a couple breaths here. So we're either in a high lunge, Virabhadrasana one stance, continue to push your right hip forward, continue to be engaged to the belly. Shrug those shoulders from the ears. The neck is long, even if you're looking upwards. Good. Big breath in. Same thing. Exhale, bring it all the way back down. Take your time. Add an extra step if you want. Knee down, then fingertips down. Left foot will slide back. And then we have decisions to make. Do you want to take another vinyasa? As long as you can maintain your alignment, you're welcome to exhale, lower it down, point the toes, inhale, strong back, your version of a cobra pose. Exhale, back down. Tuck toes, pull the belly in, inhale, try to push back up. We'll meet in our resting pose. Down dog, tabletop, or a child's pose. One more breath, wherever we are. Inhale, look forward, step, walk, hands to feet, feet to hands. Forward fold, Uttanasana. This time we'll take a halfway lift. So bring the hands to the shins or higher, pull the shoulder blades together, open the heart, press both feet into the floor. And then exhale, sit those sit bones back into an invisible chair, reaching the fingertips forward and up into Utkatasana. Pause here for a breath or two, so shrug the shoulders. Knees point to the toes, bend at the elbows, so that helps the neck remain nice and long. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, maybe we try to sink a little lower, super powerful pose, strengthening the lower half of the body. And then big breath in, reach the fingertips to the ceiling, straighten the legs, reach everything up, heels up, lift, lift, lift. Turn the palms out, exhale, float the arms down, the heels down, pause in Tadasana. Stand nice and tall. Turn the palms out, big breath in, one more time, reach it up. Bring the palms to touch and exhale to our heart center. So we're gonna come into our wide stance, so we might need to turn our body to the long edge of our yoga mat, and we might wanna have some props for us. You can take a break. If you have a couple yoga blocks, the seat of a chair. We're gonna move into Prasarita Padottanasana, or standing straddle series. So if you happen to have yoga blocks, you'll place them mindfully about shoulder width apart along the long edge of your yoga mat, or move your chair in front of you. And then once we're situated in the middle of our mat, float the fingertips in front of the heart and just take a big step out, 1 foot at a time. You can always wiggle your feet a little wider once we get there. Reach your fingertips out from the shoulders, but still stay connected between the shoulder blades. Pull that belly in. Starting with the feet parallel to each other, so our toes are pointing forward. On the inhale, turn the palms up. Let's reach it up today so we can maintain this nice long line along the side body. Exhale, palms out. Bring the hands all the way around to the hips. At this point, turn the toes in a little bit more than the heels. So we're internally rotating the thigh bones. Belly's in, open the heart, inhale. On the exhale, here's the hinging right here at the hips. You're creating that nice little hip crease. Belly's strong, legs are strong, four corners of the feet are active. And we can pause about halfway and stay here. Keep pulling the shoulder blades together and down the back. Don't hunch forward. We're still strengthening the back here. Now, as these muscles in the backs, the legs, the inner thighs start to lengthen, our breath might take us a little further. If we are utilizing props to the floor, I usually like to just use our fingertips so we still stay connected to the core and the lower half of the body. And we're going to hold for, again, several deep breaths. So if we start to go a little further, maybe we lower our blocks down a little bit more. Maybe we're fingertips to the floor. So some of us might be even able to walk our hands back between the feet. If you're going into a different variation, just make sure the spine is staying nice and long and the front as well as the back. Our drishti might be right underneath the tip of our nose. If we're in a deeper forward fold, you can drop the head down and look between the legs. Just keep pulling those shoulder blades down the back. Try to let the weight of the head go. This pose can be really nice to help release tension around the neck and the shoulders. One more breath. Next, inhale. Lift the body about halfway up. Come back up under your fingertips. If you have yoga blocks, bring them back up. So I would like us to have some type of prop right underneath the heart center. If you don't necessarily have yoga blocks, your fingertips may be on the floor. If you do have a block, just place one of them on its high setting right underneath the tip of the nose as you gaze down. Place the right hand or fingertips to that block. Pull the belly in, strong legs. Bring the left hand to the hip. And on our inhale, pull the left shoulder back. Look to the left into a twist. So we may keep our low back level here, meaning we're only going to be rotating through that mid and upper back, shoulders and neck. Some people like to sink the right hip down and let the pelvis come at more of an angle. It really just depends on how that affects our low back. Doesn't mean we're necessarily twisting anymore through the spine. It'll just feel like that, because if we take the hips with us, we'll be able to look a little further up. If you want to extend the left arm up to the ceiling, go ahead and do so. Take another big breath in. Both legs should still be nice and strong. Equal weight in both feet. Exhale, look down, sweep the left hand down. Level the hips. If you were a tilter, we'll bring our left fingertips to the block, right hand to the hip. Inhale, pull the right shoulder blade back, left shoulder under, look to the right. Also, if you add the hip tilt, sometimes you can get a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch too. Most importantly, whatever feels best for our back. Continue to breathe and rotate. Maybe reaching that right arm up to the ceiling. Maybe trying to gaze upwards to that top hand. Good. Big breath in. Exhale, bring the right hand down. We're going to go one more time to each side, and this time more with the breath. So inhale, left arm up, reaching, gazing, rotating all the way through the crown of the head. Exhale it down. Other side, inhale, rotating, good. Exhale. Now both fingertips coming down to our prop, even micro bend the knees a little bit, pull the belly in. Exhale, one hand at a time to those hips. And then inhale, use your strong legs and core to come all the way up. Reach those arms up, palms up. Try to inhale even more. Gazing slightly upwards, bring the palms to touch, exhale our hands to our heart, and let's heel, toe, step, step, step the feet into mountain pose for a moment. Just stand nice and tall. Big breath, draw that big circle. Reach it up. Bring the palms to touch, exhale, hands to heart. So I want us to get into a little bit more balancing. If we need to rearrange our space, we may do so. So this balancing pose is going to add a little bit of movement, which is sometimes a challenge for our balance. Crane pose, it's a nice fluid, soft balancing pose. Feet are hips width apart. We'll lean our weight into the right leg and press the right foot through the floor. So our whole right side should get nice and strong. You'll feel a little lift here. Pull up through those lower locks, and your left side should get light. Try to lift and lower those toes. Let's float our arms beside the body and see if we can come into a little bit of a hover. So here comes the movement. Again, think nice and loose, almost like we're moving through water. On the inhale, float the arms upward, just dropping the fingertips, bending at the elbows slightly like the wings of the bird. Simultaneously, you're hovering the left knee up, but the foot is very relaxed. It's just kind of hanging in the joints. On the exhale, lower back down. Now you may touch or stay in a hover. So inhale, wings up, knee up, crane pose. Exhale. Follow the breath. Keep your gaze steady and focused. Now the next time we inhale and lift up, we're going to try to hold, but we keep breathing. This exhale, bring the hands back around and down to the hips. The knee is still up. Pull the belly in. Stay here or try to extend the toes straight forward for 3, 2, 1. Lower the foot to the floor. Feet can be about hips width apart. Float the arms down. Steady your weight equally in both feet. Keep your eyes fixated on one spot and take a breath. Turn the palms out. Inhale, big stretch out and up. Palms touch. Exhale to center. Lean into the left leg. Push the left foot through the floor. Super strong left body is engaged. It lifts. The lower bandhas can lift. The right side should start to get a little light. Lift and lower those toes. Try to find a soft hover here. Then following the breath on the inhale, relax the hands, relax the foot, float the arms up, the knee up. Good. And then on the exhale, hover or touch. Good. One more. Next inhale lifts us up to hold. Keep breathing. Exhale, just the hands sweep around and down to the hips. Hold and breathe here. Or now point through those toes, extending them forward for 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Equalize the weight in both feet. Float the arms out. Pause. Turn those palms out. Inhale. Big stretch up. Palms touch. Exhale to our center. So let's come back to the top of our mat if we're not already there. We'll keep our feet hips width apart. We'll float the arms back out beside the body. Feel our body standing tall. As much symmetry as we can create here in our right side and left side and front to back. Turn the palms out, take a big breath in, reach out and up. Drishti to thumbs for a little bit more extension. On the exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, sweep the arms back, around, and down to your forward fold. We will hang out for a couple of breaths here, giving the back another big stretch, trying to release the head and neck. Hands to shins. Inhale, lift the heart, squeeze the back, halfway lift. This exhale bends the knees and plants the hands again. Try to switch up which foot you step back with, if you can remember. Big step back. We're all going to meet back into our plank position. You may be in full plank or kneeling plank. You may choose to go right into your resting pose or join me for another vinyasa. Exhaling, elbows bend back. You're lowering the upper body down to the floor. Chin is forward. Flatten out the tops of the feet. Squeeze the back. Inhale, lift the heart into Bhujangasana. Exhale brings us all the way back down to the ground. Kiss the mat, tuck the toes and tail under, pull your elbows in, belly in, and inhale, push back up, kneeling or full plank. Exhale, our resting pose. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog, tabletop, or child's pose. Down dog, people. Inhale, lift those heels up. And our exhale will all meet up into child's pose. You can try to keep your knees together this time. Sitting back on the heels, hands to the feet, bowing the head to the ground, and just draping the upper body over the lower body. Hands under the shoulders, tuck the chin. And inhale, let's round it up, one vertebra at a time. We'll shift our hips over to either side and bring our feet forward. So I do want us to have our yoga straps or a scarf handy. So if it's nearby, just place it next to your mat, have it ready. If you take extra support underneath the head, you can have those things ready too. So we are going to work our way down to our back and go into some Supta Padangusthasana for our hamstrings and our hips. Have enough space behind the body. You're welcome to walk yourself down onto the back or roll down using a little bit more of our core, planting the soles of the feet, allowing the knees to open wide. Our fingertips reach forward. We strongly pull the navel into the spine. We try to round down slowly, rolling through the back. Belly in, belly in, belly in. Rolling all the way down to the back of the head. When the head touches, reach the arms overhead, and then straighten the legs out down the middle of the mat. Point and flex the feet a couple times. Now flex the feet, pulling the toes to the shin bones, spread the fingers, take a big breath in. On the exhale, let's float our arms down, draw the shoulder blades under, step our feet in. Pulling the belly in, we'll hug our knees in and just massage out that back here, side to side. So dropping the feet to the floor, take a hold of that yoga strap. We're going to start with our right leg. So we'll bend the right knee in. We're taking the strap to the lower arch of the foot closer to the heel. And then you're pressing your heel out so that we can straighten the leg as much as possible. You may have your hands extended up. I like to keep my arms straight and my shoulders just kind of hovering slightly from the floor, wrapping the strap around the hands. Really lengthen from the inner groin to the inner heel. Little contraction from the outer heel to the outer hip. Once we're in position, keep the heart open, slide the left heel forward, and the left foot presses just as strongly as the right heel is pressing up. The left heel is pressing forward. And that left leg should be anchored to the ground. Good. So we're just working on the right hamstring here, big stretch for the back of the leg. Again, feel like you're trying to stretch, open the back of the knee, the eye of the knee. If you have the space to draw the right leg a little bit closer towards the body, you may do so, but keep the low back grounded. One more breath. Now take the strap in the right hand, place the left hand on top of the left hip. Your left side must stay grounded. Bend the right knee a little bit more to get the thigh angled up towards the body. Bend the right elbow. Inhale, open the right leg to the right. You may then try to re-extend the leg out. Flex both feet, so the toes should still be pulling towards the shin bones. You can try to externally rotate the thigh bones, so it's almost like you're trying to Charlie Chaplin your feet or turn the toes out more than the heels. Left side down, big inner thigh groin muscle stretch. Extend the left arm from the shoulder, turn the head to the left. Take one more nice big breath. And then bring the head back to neutral, help the right leg up. Hold onto the strap with the left hand. Keep the right buttock down to the ground and just angle the straight leg across the midline a few degrees. We're trying to get into this IT band outer hip. Feel free to massage into that area. Taking it into the twist, bend at the left elbow. At this point, allow the hip to come up and the leg to float over. Keep tension on the strap to hold the leg up. Right shoulder remains grounded. Reach the right arm out from the shoulder. Head turns to the right to counter twist through the neck. One more breath. Next, inhale the head and the leg come back up to neutral. Today, let's open the strap back up. Slide the left foot in and up and pause and neutralize and waterfall pose. And then we'll do all that good stuff for the left side. So bring the right foot to the floor. Bringing the strap to that lower arch of the left leg. Press that left thigh bone forward, straighten the leg, press the left heel up. Adjust your hands, keep the heart open. And then we'll slide the right heel forward, anchoring the right leg to the ground. The right foot is just as it's flexed, toes to the shin bones. Concentrating on stretching out the back of the left leg. Feel that openness behind the knee. And then left hand will hold onto the strap, right hand on top of the right hip. Keep the right side grounded, so nice strong right leg. Bend the left knee a little bit more so that the left thigh bone starts closer to the body. Bend the left elbow out, open the leg out. From there, you may try to re-extend the leg. Press both heels forward, externally rotate, Charlie Chaplin the feet, toes turning out, heels in. Low back should be flat to the floor. Right arm reaches up from the shoulder, head turns to the right, couple deep breaths. Next inhale, we'll bring the head and the leg back up. Right hand holds on now. Keep the left buttock down to start. Legs straight as possible. You're angling across the midline just a few degrees, which should start to feel a nice big stretch for this outer hip. Taking it into the twist, bend at the right elbow drops to the ground. Keep tension on the belt to help hold the leg up. The left hip can come up. Left shoulder stays down. Left arm out, turn the head to the left. Couple deep breaths. And then inhale, head and leg come back up to neutral. Open the strap back up. Same thing, slide the right foot in and up, pausing, and waterfall pose. Another nice inversion here. Helps undo some of the effects of gravity on our body, our lower half of our body. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, we'll bend our knees, release the strap off to the side, dead bug pose, cross the right ankle on top of the left ankle, reach the arms straight up to the ceiling, but flop your fingertips forward. Give them a little wiggle as needed from holding onto the strap, and then just let them relax. Let the weight of the thighs fall towards the body. Cross at the ankles, other way. Try to take a deeper belly breath here. Big breath in. On the exhale, uncross the ankles, parallel the feet, bringing the hands to the shin bones, or trying to reach up and over the shins for opposite elbows, floating the nose up to the knees as well. Squeeze the body nice and tight. And then we'll relax the head back down to the ground and the feet back down to the ground. So for this morning's practice, we'll take Shavasana for several moments or final relaxation. I'll use the singing bowl for those of us that want to then come out of Shavasana to come up for a little bit of our pranayama practice, some mantra and meditation work. You're always welcome to stay grounded on the floor while we do that. So take a moment, gather up any props that you want to add in addition, taking pillows underneath the knees, blankets, support the head. Eye coverings, if you have them, it can help the body relax a little bit more quickly. Remembering that we put some effort into this pose as we move into it. So we want to create as much symmetry in the body here, from left to right and front to back. Feet may be flopping open, arm bones can roll open, palms up, fingertips curling up. Take your time getting there, add extra layers as well. And we're going to do a little tension and purposeful tension and releasing in our final relaxation pose today. So once we all get comfortable, we would adjust the clothing, make sure our ponytails are out of the way. So we're going to start with just the face. So the eyes are closed. We're going to squish up our face, making our ugliest face, furrow the brow, tighten up the lips and the mouth. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, allow the face to relax. Now just the hands and the arms and the shoulders. So curl up the hands into two really tight fists. Try to hover the arms about an inch from the floor from the shoulders. Squeeze and tighten the muscles down the arms. Take a big breath in. Exhale, let your arms flop to the floor. Now just the belly, the back, and the buttocks. So pull the abdominal muscles in, tighten up the glutes, and squeeze as tight and as hard as you can. Big breath in. Exhale, let them drop and relax. Now just the feet and the legs. So pull your toes to your shin bones, spread the toes. Tighten up the calf muscles, the quad muscles, the glutes. Maybe the heels pop up an inch from the floor. Squeeze and tighten, big breath in. Exhale, let them drop. Now we're going to do the whole body. So you're going to squeeze the face up, furrow the brow. Make two fists in the hands, super strong arms. Try to lift the arm bones from the floor about an inch. Pull the belly in, squeeze the buttocks. Flex the feet, spread the toes, tighten up the calf muscles. Squeeze and tighten every muscle in the body as hard as we can. Breathe it in. Exhale, let it flow. Relax every muscle in the body. Loosen up all the joints in the body. Feel the weight of the body sink into the floor. Letting go of controlling the body. Letting go of controlling the breath. Allowing our breath to become quiet, easy, and calm. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to this peaceful breath. As we give ourselves permission this morning to let go, to feel a sense of surrender, and to simply be and breathe. So we may choose to stay in Shavasana for a while longer. Otherwise, we will slowly come back to our breath. Start to breathe life back into the body, waking up toes and fingertips. Little rock of the head side to side. Arms may reach overhead for a moment, just creating some space throughout the body. And then floating the arms down, stepping the feet in, drawing the belly in to hug the knees in and massage the back for a moment. Then we bring the right arm beside the head. We roll all the way onto our right side, pausing in sleeping baby pose. The head rests on the arm. Left hand falls to the floor in front of the heart. And then try to keep the eyes soft or even closed. We can extend that top leg forward to help us come up as we push into the ground and bring our bodies up. So I'll probably need to open the eyes slightly to rearrange our space a little bit, but just try to keep your attention inward as much as possible. We will move into a seated position. So take support under the sit bones. Support the knees and lower half of the body as needed. Most important thing is we want to be able to sit up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Once we're situated in our seat, move the flesh out of the way, connect to the sit bones. The low belly will draw in slightly to support the spine. Sit up nice and tall, head just floating on the shoulders. So we're going to take a few rounds of our Nadi Shodhanam, or alternate nostril breathing. To begin, we take Chin Mudra in both hands, so the index finger comes to the thumbs, and the other 3 fingers stay extended. You may place the hands palms down on the knees or palms up, whatever feels most natural for you this morning. And then in your right hand, we take Nasagra Mudra. So you start by making the peace symbol in the hand, and then glue the middle and index fingers to touch. The thumb, the ring, and the pinkies are our pinchers. We turn the right hand towards our face, and we press the tip of the index finger and middle finger right into our third eye center. Gently rest the thumb on the outside of the right nostril, the ring and the pinky finger on the outside of the left nostril. Sit up tall. To begin, inhale through both nostrils. Exhale back out through both nostrils. Now close the right nostril with the thumb and inhale just through the left side. Close the left, open the right, and exhale. Inhale back up through the right side. Close the right, open the left, and exhale. That's 1 round. Inhale left. Close left, open right, exhale. Inhale back through the right. Close right, open left, exhale. That's 2 rounds. Continue at a comfortable rhythm and pace for your breath and your body. If the right arm starts to get tired, place the left hand under the right elbow to help prop the arm up, holding the head up and the spine nice and tall. If you notice it's a little bit more challenging to breathe through one side than the other, that's totally normal. Just do your best to breathe as smoothly and evenly from side to side. Try to keep the inhales and exhales equal in length from side to side. And we'll all follow through 1 more round of Nadi Shodhanam. So when we get to the end of our last round, there's no rush, take your time. We should end through an exhale out the left side. Once we've completed that last exhale out the left nostril, we bring the hands back to Chin Mudra, resting on the knees. We now focus the mind's eye, the third eye center, maybe still feeling that sensation of that acupressure of the fingertips into Ajna chakra, our place of intuition and wisdom. The breath goes wherever it would like to go. And maintain a nice tall posture all the way up the spine. If at this point we want to switch the cross of our legs, just do so slowly and mindfully. And we'll go for a few rounds of our mantra this morning, which is Loka Samasta Sukhi No Bhavantu. It means may all beings everywhere be happy and free. You may also just simply concentrate on the breath or your own personal mantra this morning. So I'll begin with the chant. Feel free to join in. And then we will softly let it go, and we will continue to sit in our seated meditation for several more moments, either mentally repeating this mantra or concentrating the mind on one spot. I'll use the singing bowl to bring us out. To begin, nice deep breath in through the nose. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. 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 Readjusting our posture as needed. And being mindful of our surroundings. We'll now reach our arms out beside the body, palms up. We'll take another nice deep breath in through the nose, and this time reach those fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Big stretch, gathering in everything we need for the rest of our day. Turn those palms out, float those fingertips all the way back down to the floor. Big breath out, letting go of all that other junk we don't need today. Palms up, one more time. Inhale, reach up. This time, bringing the palms to touch. Exhaling the hands in front of the heart into Anjali Mudra. Humbly bowing our head down to our heart to honor and thank ourselves, our bodies, each other, and anyone else that made it possible for us to practice our yoga together today. Feel free to join me in chanting the Om Shanti mantra if you like, taking a deep breath in through the nose. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.